Where is remote work going over the next 36 months? It is a doozy. We have had such a wild ride since 2020, a complete transition of everything that we understand about work. Just to give everyone the context, pre-2020, 4.5% of the US workforce was working remotely in February of 2020. By March, it was 67% of the US workforce.
Right, yeah.
That is the biggest transition in work since the Industrial Revolution. But the Industrial Revolution took 80 years and we did that in March. So it changed everything that we can possibly think of with regards to work. And where are we going now? Who knows? It's a very exciting future. I can tell you, however, in the last 2 quarters, the net amount of hours worked from home have gone up, not down.
Yeah, I believe it.
So we're now in that. There's an academic from Stanford, Nick Bloom, who's also speaking at Running Remote this year. And he has this perspective of the Nike swoosh back to remote work. So we've already basically experienced the bottoming out of the push back to the office. There's very clearly that tension between employee and employer for a lot of reasons that we probably can't necessarily get into inside of this particular podcast. Very bad for a publicly traded company to be able to abandon 30% of their P&L, which is their corporate real estate, and all of the implications that kind of connects to that in terms of their stock price. But we're seeing that remote work go up by about 1.5% from 2 quarters ago to today. And we're going to continue to see that turn back up. So that tension between corporate America, corporate real estate, and the worker will continue to be a pressure point throughout 2024 and 2025.
You know, as somebody who was working from home long before it became chic, almost 20 years before that happened, I can attest to the fact that you don't need to be in an office to be able to do your job. And I think the wonderful thing that 2020 brought us around the world is that companies actually started to realize that, right? Oh, you can get your job done at home.
Yes. So it's a bit of a Pandora's box in that context,
right?
Which is not only did companies realize it, which we're very happy to support at Running Remote, by the way, but a whole bunch of employees figured out the same thing too.
Yep.
And I think that is going to be, it's already a conflict that exists. It's only going to get worse as we see many companies today that are realizing that these people aren't coming back. That's a permanent change. We've tried everything we possibly can to be able to get them back in the office, and they're not doing it. And we now need to make some very difficult decisions because the $6 billion of corporate real estate that we have in our P&L is actually now worth $3 billion. And we need to be able to come to terms with that. That's going to be 2024, and it's going to be rough.
Carol Schultz here. Thanks for watching this excerpt from Authentically Successful. The conversation doesn't end there. So if you want to hear this episode in full and all my conversations with many other successful founders and CEOs, please visit verticalelevation.com/podcast.